Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I know my viewers, I'd say pretty well by this point. I've been doing the channel for several years. I know that, you've come along on quite a lot of journeys. Granted, we did those bad pitches videos with Joe. Several of you were thought that was real, but we got to know each other, right? You got to know my humor. I got to know your style and what you're really interested in. So I think I can say with a lot of confidence that a lot of my viewers very happy today at pretty big news that Dan Slott has returned to Spider-Man and on an ongoing title. Now, no, this is not a dream. This is not a hoax. This is not an imaginary story. This is not your wildest fantasies come true. Well, I mean, it is all of those things, but it's also very real. So, yes, Marvel announced today that they would be creating a brand new ongoing Spider-Man title. Which makes sense. They've been vomiting out dozens and dozens of new Spider characters in the various Spider titles, so makes sense that we get a new one. But anyway, there's a brand new Spider title, and it's a adjective-less Spider-Man. Still has a hyphen, which, as you know, is very, very important to Mr. Slott. And Dan Slott will be returning to the title that he arguably had his greatest success on. You might remember several years ago, Dan Slott left Amazing Spider-Man. Ultimately, it was taken over by Nick Spencer. And in the Dan Slott Spider-Man, we got to see a number of kind of bait and switch teases with Mary Jane. We got to see the key Spider-Man become a tech billionaire. We got to see him killed and Dr. Octopus take over his body and use it to basically have sex with Mary Jane. And many, many other things went on during that series. But he left and he went on to Iron Man and Fantastic Four, both historic runs that are well documented on this channel. If you haven't had a chance to go over and look at the Iron Man 2020 reviews, then you can see my slow descent into madness through the course of those 6 issues. But he is returning to the adjective-less Spider-Man. Now, they're hyping this up as being the kind of return of the Todd McFarlane 1990s Spider-Man series, which, of course, was when they last launched a Spider-Man book like this. Maybe that's not entirely true. I'm sure there's been some mini-series and other crap that have happened in the last 30 years, but they're definitely linking it to that Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. But of course, Dan Slott is not drawing. I mean, would that be true? But no, he is going to be joined on this book by Mark Bagley, who of course is a classic Spider-Man artist himself, having done many, many issues of Spider-Man during the 90s, and as he's appeared off and on throughout Spider-Man lore and comics for quite a while. So they're basically promising a few things with this book. First, it will, basically it says it's going to be an all-star jam on the wall crawler, bringing back a title, writer, and artist all associated with some of Spidey's most classic stories for a new fight against the villainous Morlun. We're doing Morlun? No, we're not. We're doing. Okay, we're doing Morlun. Okay, his classic villain, Morlun, the vampire in a nice suit who eats spiders, sort of. I guess he has those fancy boots. But anyway, I guess we're getting that. So all right, but also Marvel does say this isn't an out of continuity title. This is not something that is going to happen in some other dimension, some other multiverse. This is very much rooted to ours, and that it will tie directly into Zeb Wells and John Romita Jr.'s current run on Amazing Spider-Man, which basically means he won't be getting together with Mary Jane in this one either. But as you can see in the video, we've got some art here from Mark Bagley. And Dan Slott, of course, is absolutely thrilled. He says, how does it feel to be writing Spider-Man again? Like I'm home. Like there's nowhere else I'd like to be. Like I'm sticking it to millions of people who hate my guts on this. Oh, sorry, he didn't say that part. It says, how does it feel to be working on it with Mark Bagley, one of the greatest Spidey icons of all time? Honored, excited, and unstoppable. Quips Slott in the announcement. How does he quips? What? Anyway, Dan Slott promises we are not going to let you down like we did with Iron Man. No, he didn't say that last part. He said, we're not going to let you down. Slott promises we're going to take big swings in each and every issue. And the first thing we're doing right out the gate is the Spider-Verse comic to end all Spider-Verse comics, because There have been so many Spider-Verse comics. So this goes on sale October 5th. And I'll just cut out the sarcasm at this point. So a lot of people were wondering, where was Dan Slott going to emerge next? What new title would he come to? After it was announced he was leaving Fantastic Four, and now we have our answer. It is Spider-Man, which does feel like, as a friend said, it does feel like Marvel's given up at this point, and it's like, screw it, let's head back to Slott. Why not? It is. It's often puzzling when a writer makes a big deal out of leaving it all on the page and saying that this is the story to end all my stories. I'm going out on my high note. I've told my Spider-Man epic. I'm done. And then about 4 years later, he comes back to the book, and it's like, I'm excited to be returning home. I don't know what does that say really? I mean, it's all marketing anyway, but Spider-Man is punctuated in these scenes by a glowing yellow eyes and a little greenish yellow spider emblem on it, which presumably is some kind of new techie something or other, or maybe it's just some wacky coloring, but I don't think so. He's got a new duffel bag in the art, and he's got some new, little light things, and he is in contact with Norman Osborn, which we know is coming out in some of the Zeb Wells comic, that the two are going to be working together on some level. So kind of a fusion of Green Goblin plus Spider-Man kind of technology, I guess. I like how when if you saw the art earlier, he just changes right there in the alley and just dumps his shirt and pants just right there on the dirty next to. I mean, Bagley has drawn in empty beer cans, trash, and what looks like condoms and a toothpaste tube on the ground. So it's I'm questioning Peter's hygiene here. But anyway, questioning hygiene has a lot to do with the creative team announced on this. So Dan Slott is back. And how do you feel about that as a reader? I know he probably wasn't the most popular writer, at least on this channel. But granted, we did the sales analysis. You can check it out for yourself. It's on this channel. He did sell a lot of copies, granted. Spider-Man does sell well on its own, but Dan Slott did move the needle and make some money on all this. So it's probably not terribly surprising that Marvel failing to have Slott capitalize on his name with Fantastic Four and Iron Man, neither of which title did particularly good. It makes sense that they're going to maneuver him back to something where they believe the money is a little bit more safe and have Bagley to do it. But it does. One other interesting thing I saw in the press release, they talked about, rest assured, Marvel Comics promises the new Spider-Man title while dealing with concepts such as the Spider-Verse and heroes, including Miles Morales' Ghost Spider and numerous other Spider characters. It's interesting how they describe that stuff. I mean, we've kind of given up on Spider-Man for Miles Morales. We're just calling him Miles Morales now. Spider-Gwen is Ghost Spider, and numerous other Spider characters. It does seem like somewhere within the Marvel marketing, they've figured out that maybe calling everyone Spider-Man is a bad idea. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. Enough out of me. Enough silliness. Let me know your thoughts. Dan Slott returning to Spider-Man. Who's in? Who's saying that you're in? You're ready for this title? What if? Here's a little what if for you. What if Dan Slott came back onto this title and basically in 24 to 32 issues, he built up the restoration of the Spider-Man marriage, the removal of the Mephisto deal, and he basically righted that wrong. Sada's gone, and he basically, I mean, that's not going to happen, but what would you be willing to say, all right, Dan Slott, yeah, I'm giving you this one. A toast to you if he was to make that move. Again, there's no way that's going to happen, but I'm curious what you would think. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have a very happy 4th of July long weekend, everyone, and thanks for listening.
Delete! Delete! Delete!